Morris, 189th cap for Paddy Wallace tonight. He'll want to prove there's life in the old dog yet.
He is, and he came through the same era as O'Driscoll and Darcy, and it's just unfortunate the combination of O'Driscoll and Darcy, that's what they went with in Leinster. Paddy's an exceptionally talented player. Interesting to see how he combines now with Jared Payne, who's moved from fullback to 13. They haven't played together this season also because of Paddy's injury, but it'll be interesting. It'll just be a matter of time. Massive play there by McKinney. He'll have to play flat in the gain line and bring Paddy Wallace and Jared Payne into it, and say Paddy's such a skillful inside centre that he can maybe open up the defence. Another big night, as Morris says, for James McKinney. In his Pro 12 debut, he was man of the match, 21 points out of 41, didn't miss a kick. So tonight he's coming in with a little bit more pressure on his shoulders.
I think so, yeah. There's a little bit of expectation more than pressure, I think. So he'll want to deliver. He's a professional sort of guy. And I think, as Morris rightly said, if he does what he needs to do, just take the ball flat and let the magic happen outside him as opposed to trying to create that magic, takes a little bit of pressure off and he can enjoy it. Okay, Andy Morris, thank you very much indeed. Sit back and enjoy some live rugby on this pretty cold Friday night. It's teams are on their way, and we can join our commentary team. It's good evening to Ryan Constable and Jim Neely.
Well, good evening, Stephen. And I suppose the great thing about Ravenhill tonight, unlike the Heineken Cup game in Treviso a week ago, we can see what is going on. This Zebre side, pretty well much change. A brand new front row, a brand new back row, but the heart of the team and the heart of the pack is in the second row with Heldon Hayes and the 99 times capped Italian international Marco Bortolami. One or two late changes behind the scrum. Palazzani moved to full-back. Berryman moves onto the wing, and off the bench is scrum half Chilon. There is Marco Bortolami. And there's the man who is his opposite captain and his opposite number in terms of the man whom he's playing against. Johan Muller, interestingly, leading Ulster for the 60th time in a very distinguished career here at Ravenhill. A much changed Ulster side in terms of cap players, the weakest Ulster side so far this season. Only 4 internationals in the starting lineup and 1 more on the bench. But it's the last Friday before Christmas, and Ravenhill has been long since sold out. Likewise, the game in a couple of weeks' time on the 3rd of January against the mighty Munster, the Pro 12 leaders, but that's a game you can see with us here on BBC Northern Ireland. Well, a brand new front row operating together for the very first time. Good to see Lewis Stevenson back from injury, partnering Johan Muller, and with Roger Wilson being rested, Robbie Dyack plays number 8 for the first time this season, flanked by Mike McComish and Sean Doyle. James McKinney, man of the match on his first start a few weeks ago against Edinburgh, is paired with Ruan Pienaar. How wonderful to see Paddy Wallace back for cap number 189 alongside Jared Payne in the centre. Just the one international in the Ulster replacements panel. Tom Court is in there, and Adam Macklin, who's been out for even longer than Paddy Wallace, is in his first matchday squad of this brand new season. Referee is the 37-year-old lecturer in sports science, Neil Hennessy from Cardiff, doing his 17th Pro 12 game.
Ulster.
And there's the man born in Cordoba in Argentina some 32 years ago. Now 37 times capped for Italy, Luciano Orchera. Not a bad kick, putting Ulster under a wee bit of pressure straight away, and Craig Gilroy back in his favoured position of right wing. And of course, as far as the number 14 shirt is concerned, he's got a battle with one Thibault and one A. Trimble. Ruan Pienaar to Mike McComish. Ulster just trying to keep things fairly straightforward at the moment. Ricky Lutton making a rare start. No John Afoe, and no the virus-affected Declan Fitzpatrick. This is Robbie Dyack playing number 8, where he's played quite a lot actually, but not in recent seasons, with the return of Roger Wilson. James McKinney. Gilroy underneath it, very nearly made it his own. Ulster might just have snaffled that, but I think the referee has spotted an Ulster knocked forward, and already we can see the way that the conditions are going to dictate how this game is going to be played.
Yeah, difficult to get a read up here in our commentary position, but judging by the tactics Ulster have employed, going through multiple phases deep in their own 22 to try and establish some sort of angle, that kick stayed up in the air for an awfully long time, and Ulster, you would seem, are playing into that very strong wind.
Good to see Paddy Wallace's appetite for the physical has not diminished.
Marcus here, Marcus there.
Since the last time we saw him. Got himself injured against the Ospreys some 9 months ago. Did a cruciate ligament. First scrum, Callum Black, the 27-year-old Irish qualified, making his 6th start of the season, and against a fairly hefty gentleman in Andrea De Marchi.
Yes, no.
Good solid looking back by Callum Black, and that's a good squeeze by Ulster on the opposition put in. Chilon, little flat pass to his inside centre, Roberto Quartaroli. Chilon again. Lively start by the visitors. Desperate for a win on foreign soil. Chilon gets it back. Orquera may think about the little dink. That's his trademark. Well read by Craig Gilroy. Ran out of room and a lot of black jerseys surrounded him. And Ulster give away the first penalty of the game.
You can really see that breeze is going to be the dominant factor in this match. Trying to put the little chip kick over, but that wind just carries at a long distance. An excellent placement from Gilroy dealing with that threat. Isolated, unfortunate. No support plays get into him quick enough, and penalty going Zebre as well.
Well, decision time. It's a difficult night for kicking at goal. And O'Cara certainly having a look, and he's decided that he is going to kick at goal. The assistants have gone round to the goal behind the War Memorial stand end here at Ravenhill. Just a little glimpse there of what will be the brand new stand, ready one hopes for, well, dare we speak it, a home quarter final in the Heineken Cup. We'll worry about that as and when. So early chance then for Luciano O'Cara, with 104 league points to his credit from 16 games, so he's been their highest scorer since the Zebre franchise was formed. It's a fair old way out, and under normal circumstances this would be well within his range, but the wind is tending to swirl a little bit, and that's going to cause problems for him. He's got Leonardo Sarto acting as a placer. He's kept that low, and it's not too far away. It's right on target. Well, it just squeezed over. It was a horrible, ugly kick, but he made it, and that's the perfect start for the Italians.
And sometimes it can be difficult if you're playing with the wind at your back in the first half. A lot of pressure to accumulate points throughout that first half. You know what's coming in that second half, and you still need to be very strategic, employ the right game plan to ensure you get into scoring positions. A lot about field position for Zebre in this first half.
James McKinney's restart kick held up a little bit. Mike McCormick, the first Ulster player up to challenge. Zebre have conceded about 10 metres or so. O'Cara again looking for a little bit of space. Ricky Andrew is there.
On a halfway. Out,
little chip by James McKinney. Well, that's gone right backwards now. Robbie Dyack held off the first tackle. Good support play from Paddy Wallace. Nicely away. Gilroy. Bit of a loopy pass. Niall Annett. Fair bit of pace from the Ulster hooker. Good work again by the solidly built Callum Black. He's taken on a couple of opposition players and made good ground. Ulster need quick ball from here. And held in by Zebre, and they get the first put into the scrum, so they've been pretty efficient so far.
Yeah, well, we've seen now, if there was any doubt as to what impact the wind was going to have, that is certainly Zebre playing with it. We saw what effect it has on ball in the air. Ulster will need to shorten their spacing. The wider passes are going to be affected by that wind. They'll look to play ball in hand rugby, go through multiple phases. Not too concerned about where they are on the pitch. It's getting through this first half. Damage limitation mode, not too many points. Alternately, Zebre will be looking to play field position. They have the luxury of kicking themselves out of trouble, but they'll need to utilise that to best advantage.
Well, not much difference in terms of overall pack weights. 1/10 of a kilogram between the 16 forwards. 2 sets of 8, of course. Neil Hennessy having a little word with Alberto Chilon, who was promoted from the bench just this morning. And again, that's not a bad Zebre scrummage. Oh, pick up and good dummy. This is good work. Bounced handily for Ulster. Away goes Michael Allen. Did the right thing, Paddy Wallace. kept that fairly low. That's a clever kick from Wallace. O'Cara has touched that, so it's gone back inside his 22. Ruan Pinar waits. Ricky Andrew was outside him. Opted for the other wing, Gilroy. And they are really swarming all over Gilroy like bees. And into touch it goes, and that might just be a Zebre line-out. So they've got all the possession so far.
Well, that's what Ulster will try and do, is maintain possession, but it's Zebre that are more physical in the tackle at this point, managing to isolate Ulster players. 3 men into the tackle, another arriving to ensure that Ulster don't get any quality of possession.
Okay, white ball, thank you. Time on, yeah.
Line-out's going to be very difficult tonight. Look for the short line-outs, quick calls, get the two-jumper in the air early. Nice target set.
Maintain your gap. Good.
Sean Doyle at the back of the line-out. The Zebre hooker, Manichi, has gone to cover him. Well taken by Dayak. Pinar. Well, McKinney had to check, and an Ulsterman came in from an offside position. James McKinney had knocked the ball forward, but an Ulster player who was in front of him then touched it, which constitute an offside. Great initial take. McKinney had to take it a little bit on the high side, and well, Mike McComish tried to get out of the way, and it just hit Mike McComish's leg, so you couldn't blame Mike McComish for that. But it's given the visitors a chance for another crack at goal.
And that's what they'll be looking for, these opportunities within kicking range. Not well struck the first time around, but it certainly got the 3 points on the board, and we'll need to get this one in the air and let the wind get behind it.
Luciano O'Cara, naturalised Italian, won his first international cap way back in 2005, some 8 years ago, when he was a 24-year-old member of the 2011 World Cup squad. Wind seems to have died down a little bit, so he's not using anybody to put a restraining finger on the ball. He's got it teed up very high, and again he's kept it low, and this one hasn't made it. Ulster will breathe a sigh of relief. That was a bit unfortunate, but it didn't come to anything. But almost 9 minutes gone, and Zebre still leading by 3 points to 0.
And you can do all the training during the week and get the game plan ready based on the opposition, but when you face like conditions like this, it's about experience, it's about adjusting on the run, employing the right tactics depending on whether it's with or against you.
McKinney's kick was gathered in by Filippo Ferranini. Good solid forward driving by the opposition. O'Cara.
Release right.
Well, one of the great features of Ulster's play this season has been their defence. Quentin Heldenhays, the big South African-born Italian international, very nearly got through a gap there, and Ulster get their first put into the scrummage. Well, if it stays at 3-0 at half-time, I don't think Ulster will be too unhappy, but they'd like points without a doubt.
Yeah, they will have that luxury in the second half, well used to playing with that wind at their backs, but it is about damage limitation in this first half. They'll need to go through multiple phases, keep the tempo nice and high, the quick taps when you're into the wind, no point kicking to line and getting what could be a difficult line-out option. So they'll look to tap penalties, but go through phases. They'll need to get in their pods. Ball security becomes vital. It'll be slippery out there as well.
Ruan Pinar had a little glance over his right shoulder out to the near side of the field, where 4 of the Ulster back division are waiting. Solid Ulster scrum, good control by Dayak. Zebre wheeled it round. Pinar, McKinney, Paddy Wallace. Oh, typical Wallace dummy. Nicely done. Bit of acceleration too. The old magic seems to be there. Here's Mike McComish. Pinar. Was it obstruction? No, says the referee. Wallace again. Nice to see him getting involved so much. Well set up by Sean Doyle. Crowd complaining that Nicola Katina had come through illegally, but not so. McComish again. Johan Muller, Ulster's skipper. Ulster looking for a runner. Jared Payne, little soft pass. Well taken in by Michael Allen, who'd come in off his left wing. Quicker ball now by Ulster. Payne has got himself out there somehow. Couldn't quite pick it up. Ricky Andrew. A little bit static. Now Pienaar. McKinney. Charged down and gathered in by Andrea Manici. Another Andrea DiMarchi, the tight head prop. Bit of a fumble there. Oh, he's got away, Chillon. That little fumble just fooled all of Ulster. Now he needs a little bit of help. He's got a little bit of help from Arquera. Ulster may have just have got over to steal that. I think it was Niall Annette got himself back there. Oh, that's well done by the former captain of Methodist College. Kicked by Rowan Pienaar, just as far as Palazzani, the man who scored the try 3 weeks ago in Parma.
Hands on.
Ulster trying to set the ball up on the far side. Just if there are a little sound glitches there, let me just apologise straight away. O'Carroll, the Zebre outside half, is down injured. Zebre man comes through and blocks Rowan Pienaar. Ulster, well, a very Ulster strength, Ulster, you'll have to say, not really settling at this stage. Picked up and driven on by Muller yet again. Again, Payne goes into outside half. He's one of those players who could probably operate in any position behind the scrum. Back goes Pienaar, better stuff. McKinney, Wallace gets it inside, didn't quite work. Ulster trying a lot of things into the wind, not really working off.
Time off, Scott. Like that, please.
The Ulster will be looking to go a bit more direct, keep it nice and simple, get pods of 3 over that ball security, ball placement vital. You've got to dominate that contact, because for Ulster it is all about continuity, going through phases, and just unable to get the combination there, and the individual errors, of which you'd expect to see a few with this variation in the wind, makes passing difficult, and Ulster will have to concentrate on those core skills.
Well, an anxious moment there for Ulster, but Zebras just simply couldn't finish it off. O'Carroll got himself hurt in the tackle, but he seems to be fine again. Getting a little bit of treatment, and there's a temporary replacement going to be on. On to replace him is the Fijian international, Rameli Ratovu. And it's going to be the 23-year-old Tommaso Iannone is going to play in the outside half position. So a little bit of readjustment for the visitors. 13.5 minutes gone. Ulster still trailing here at home by 3 points to 0. Chillon. Iannone outside, and that's another good scrum, and Ulster penalised.
Hand on the floor. One.
Yeah, they've just heard the referee saying that Callum Black, under a wee bit of pressure, put his hand down on the floor, and that's conceded the penalty.
They'll have another look at the posts. 3 points on offer. Interesting to see who's going to take this kick, and 6 points they would be pretty happy with at this stage.
We have to wait and see just who's going to come on and take this penalty. And it is Tommaso Iannone. Played all 3 internationals in November for the Italians, albeit on the wing. Played against Ulster a couple of weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, in the outside half position. This to double the visitors' lead. Not that far away. He's got underneath that. He's judged that pretty nicely, and that's a very good kick. And 15 minutes played, and it's Ulster 0 and Zebre 6. Now, should we be talking about upsets at this stage of the game?
No, far too early, particularly with these conditions. You would expect the side with that wind in their back to profit from those penalties. Their range will be increased for the kickers, and it was exactly the right way to go about it. Get it in the air, on direction, it's not going to be swayed, and perfect kick.
Taken in by the enormous Leonardo Sarto, who's about 6 feet 4 inches tall for a wing 3/4. A little bit of hesitation there by Chillon. Was a very good kick with the wind behind him. Well taken by Robbie Dyack. Ricky Andrew.
Hold right.
Well, he's made a fair bit of distance with that. That's a very clever kick.
Out.
Well covered by McKinney. Rowan Pienaar. And Michael Allen outside him. That's come down outside the 22, so they'll have to play this one. And they do. There's a bit of a gap there. McKinney covers well. Finds Gilroy. Had Payne and Andrew outside him, but he opted for the kick. This is the temporary replacement, we think. Palazzani. And into touch. That's a very good kick. And although it's going to be an Ulster line-out with 16 minutes gone, certainly the Zebre have come here looking for a win.
Yeah, they've really fronted up in defence. You can notice their appetite. They're willing to get numbers over the ball. When it goes down into a ruck situation, they're piling in, playing with a real urgency, and that's aiding their cause and is eventually the result of them getting that 6-point margin, playing in the right parts of the pitch. No need for Ulster to panic at this stage.
Well, Ulster drove forward, but there was a great piece of counter-mauling by the Italian side, who are really taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Another score for them before the interval. You never know what the outcome could be. Ulster scrum creaking really for the first time this year, but no Tom Court and no Rob Herring or Rory Best and no John Afoa or Declan Fitzpatrick. Johan Muller took it very well indeed, got above everyone. There was plenty of support, it seemed, and then all of a sudden the men in black and white decided just to add a little bit of Italian beef to all of that, and Ulster crumbled a wee bit.
Ulster trying to manage the workload of their players at this stage of the season. Already a number of injuries. The games keep coming thick and fast. They're important matches in the context of the league. They're still battling on two fronts in two competitions, so they're going to need to share that workload over the next 3 weeks. Enough experience on the park to be able to guide them through these tough matches.
Referee has come round to the Ulster loosehead side, and once again Callum Black was down. I think that was a slip under fierce pressure really for the first time this season, Callum Black, because he's had a couple of good years scrummaging for Ulster. That's the first time I've seen him under anything resembling pressure.
The ball remains in the tunnel. The ball stayed in the tunnel. Okay.
Referee just having a little word with the front rows. No sign of Luciano O'Carroll coming back at the moment, so the man who kicked the second penalty, Tommaso Iannone, the 23-year-old, born in the Zebra's great rivals, city Treviso.
Bind. Set. Hold. Yes, 9.
Didn't look altogether straight. And Neil Hennessy has given Ulster the free kick.
Feeding. Basta. Enough. Away. Leave the ball.
Nothing in that little baby fracas. Nicola Katina, now 27, playing number 8. Last time Ulster played them, he was on the open side of the flank.
Mark is on the 15.
Rowan Pienaar entrusted to make a little bit of ground for Ulster. If it goes into touch, it will be a Zebra's throw, but that's a very good Gary Owen by Pienaar. It's all over the place, knocked backward. Have Ulster snapped it up? I think they have, you know. They need the quick ball. Now they have it. Pienaar. Wallace had to check. Good pass. Well away by Jared Payne. Michael Allen opts to kick. With Ricky Andrew outside him. Back goes Palazzani. Ulster on him very quickly. But Zebre have secured the ball well. And they're trying to keep it tight just to set up a decent position from which to clear their lines. That's good defensive play by the Italian visitors. Chillon. Well, he's curled that infield. Payne. Has a go himself. Gets away from a couple of tacklers. Spills out of his hand. Katina. Paddy Wallace with the tackle. Good clearing out again by the Zebra forwards. Bortolami, the redoubtable skipper. Iannone. Wide to the New Zealander, Dion Berryman, first time we've seen him. Well, here's a bit of pace. Iannone comes thundering in. And Ulster might just have secured that. Robbie Dyack goes over, and the referee's blown the whistle. I think he's given the scrum yet again. Oh, there's a bit of nonsense going on. I think Dyack's in the middle of all that. Sean Doyle was about to put in his tuppence worth, which wasn't really needed. And Mike McComish getting involved too. Nothing too serious though.
Yeah, a little bit of chat before the game. Would Zebre be up for this? Coming to Ravenhill, foul night, bottom of the table, but they've certainly shown they've got an appetite for a clever little leave of the ball and flick on, and then excellent chasing up. Zebre then have the luxury, if they can just secure possession, they can put those thunderous kicks down pitch with the wind at their back.
Well, it was a ruck situation. The ball was on the ground, and Ulster were moving forward, so they'll get the put into the scrummage, according to referee Neil Hennessy. Into the second quarter of this game, Ulster trailing by 6 points to 0.
The guard, but they're onside, they're legal, they can stand there. Okay? No. I'm not debating it. You're doing exactly the same. Okay? Thank you, Captain. Cheers, mate.
Little general admonition there from the referee, first of all to Zebre and then to Ulster. Marco Bortolami, who's been round just about every corner, had a number of great years with Gloucester. First capped in Italy when he was only 22 years of age, the youngest ever Italian international captain. Made his international debut at 20. What a great forward he's been. Needs one more international appearance to become the 5th Italian to reach the 100 caps mark.
Oh, no, I'm just placing the dividends.
A solid career both at club and country, and still leading from the front here tonight for Zebre.
Thank you, Marcus here.
Well, it's 4th place against 11th place, and Ulster, I'm sure, will not be contemplating losing tonight, because that would mean a 4th loss of the season, and last season they only lost 4 games and drew 1 over the course of the 22-match campaign.
Set! Hold! Yes, mate.
Ruan Pienaar. They nearly lost that one. Good control by Dyack. Pienaar. Well, that's not a great pass, not for the first time this evening. Paddy Wallace has to take it on. Accustomed to playing the outside half position. Pienaar. Decent kick gathered in by Berryman.
Away black. Between the 10 and 22.
That may be a little bit too long. Is it going to roll? I don't think it's going to go completely dead, but it'll be dotted down, I'm pretty sure, by James McKinney for a 22. And 22 minutes played. And Ulster 0, Zebre 6. Could you have seen that one coming?
Yeah, these conditions were always going to be a leveller. Zebre have done pretty well with the wind at their backs. 6 points probably, well, definitely you would think wouldn't be enough as they turn around and have to play into it. So they'll be aware they need to accumulate some further points in this half.
McKinney's restart kick taken in by the right winger Sarto. Chillon. Bortolami, good sweet little offload. Filippo Cristiano, the blindside flanker, took it forward a little bit. Keldon Hayes, who is another big unit in the second row for the Zebre. That's quicker ball by the visitors. Iannone, who got the second penalty. And that spill forward. Referee waiting for advantage to Ulster, and I don't think any advantage is going to come. Oh, he said it came off the leg. Crowd disagree. They thought there might have been a hand there, but Neil Hennessy's right at ground level. Keldon Hayes again makes a bit of ground. Chillon. Iannone.
Release 7.
Dion Berryman came off his wing. Chillon. Iannone again. Well, that was very close to a little breakthrough in the middle of the park there. Zebre certainly are playing out of their socks, and they've given away a penalty.
You had the benefit 2 minutes ago. There was no one there. This time you are straight down.
Individual errors. You felt in these conditions it was going to be a stop-start game, and
this time no chance.
Certainly shown to be the case. Yeah, marginal call there going in Zebre's favour. Referee getting a good vision of it, making his decision.
Well, it was a pretty decent effort by Leonardo Sarto to try to keep that ball in, but the touch judge on the near side had his flag up, and Ulster now have got the line out. It was a very, very good kick from Ruan Pienaar. Had to adjust for the wind, and it was across the line. And Ulster have got the line out, and this is the closest Ulster have been to the opposition try line in the best part of 25 minutes. Great take, Muller, Pienaar, little mismove. Paddy Wallace has a go himself. Ulster need this one, they've got it. Here comes Robbie Dyack, who has a habit of scoring against Italian sides. Johan Muller has only ever scored one league try in his distinguished career with Ulster. Lewis Stevenson, who's yet to score a try. Bortolami, I wouldn't be surprised, was well offside there, but play on, says the referee. Ulster keeping it pretty tight at this stage, not risking anything. They just want to hang on to the ball. Ricky Lutton in the middle of all that, trying to take it forward. Ulster told to use it. Mike McComish makes very good ground, good strong leg work by McComish. Ulster looking for a runner. They get it in the form of Robbie Dyack. There's an Italian hand in there, but the referee's happy enough. McKinney, sweet little pass to Wallace. Couldn't quite get it away to Michael Allen. It's gone loose and nudged forward, and Zebre will get the defensive scrum. Best bit of play by Ulster of the evening.
Excellent execution in the line-out, and then going through the phases, sending forwards around the corner, and then looking for that angle of running. Paddy Wallace coming on a great angle just as he tried to offload that ball. The slipperiness due to the rain taking its toll, but a lovely angle, beats the first defender just as he gets the hands ready for that offload. The error comes.
Well, nasty knee injury, and he had another little operation during the summer, but Paddy Wallace so far is playing as if he's never been away.
Yeah, you get that 10 years of experience, like riding a bike for him, slotting back into that 12 channel, running those angles, always had good footwork, good distribution, and you look to bring his experience more than anything to bear on this game.
Well, 3 World Cups, a Grand Slam, 30 Irish caps, 189 Ulster tonight, his 131st league game. Good shove by Ulster, terrific shove by Ulster. Pienaar, narrow side, Michael Allen gets it back inside, gathered by Dyack, very nearly got there. Just ran out of a wee bit of a room, it was all too narrow on the narrow side, and the referee has spotted a knock forward. But having been not quite minced in the scrum, but put under pressure in the scrum, it was a very good scrum for Ulster, and Michael Allen did wonderfully well to actually get the ball inside, and Robbie Dyack couldn't quite get those big paws on it. Pretty close though. He might have been tackled before he got the ball in his hands or anywhere near to it. Let's have a look at this. You can't see from there, but I have a feeling that there was contact between Filippo Farinini and Robbie Dyack before Ulster's number 8 got his hands on the ball. Still no sign of Luciano Orquera coming back, and I'm wondering, will he actually be coming back? And that leaves the visitors a little bit short-handed in terms of backs replacements, because of their 8 replacements named, they have only got 2 backs, and one of them is on the park already. Bit of an injury to one of the Italian players, and when you're under pressure, O'Cara is back on. I didn't recognize the little rascal because he's doing a fair impression of a back row forward with a head protector on, or a scrum cap as we used to call them in the old days. There he is.
This is the part of the pitch Ulster would prefer to play the majority of what remains in this first half. It's when Zebre get into opposition territory, they're within kicking range, and for Ulster it's always about possession when they play into these conditions. They're no strangers to these conditions. Quite often you'll have these at Ravenhill, and they'll know with ball in hand the opposition can't be scoring.
Well, there's going to be another replacement because Zebre are losing their hooker, Andrea Manici, and on is coming on Tommaso Dapice. So the 10 times capped Italian international is coming on. That's a bit unfortunate for Andrea Manici. Got his only Italian cap against Scotland in the Four Nations tournament in South Africa last summer. Alberto Chillon clearly does not like the Ravenhill weather, judging by the expression on his face. Well, I'm not sure if it's a prize for the most festively dressed person. I don't know that you're a contender, sir.
Set, hold. Yes, no.
Ulster get the squeeze on. It's stuck there in the middle of the front rows, and Ulster still trying to drive forward. Nobody's making any attempt, and the referee will ask him to do it again. In fact, he's given a penalty, deliberately dragging down on their precious Ravenhill turf, starting to churn up, but Ulster have the penalty, and one wonders, given the conditions, will they go for the scrum straight away? I think Johan Muller is going up for the scrum.
Decision, Captain. Okay. No, away.
No, it's the line out.
Yeah, just going through the options there. Kick for goal probably being the least likely, given what angle they would have been faced with. The line-outs functioned well thus far, looking to secure possession and try and drive that ball over.
Annette to Muller, his captain. Ball very slippery, and Ulster have done well to secure possession. Annette has done well to come round. Keldon Hayes is in there as well, likewise Ferranini. A lot of black shirts making life difficult for Ulster at the breakdown. And it's not clean ball, and a lot of fancy footwork there by Ulster, and by a rather frustrated Johan Muller. And Neil Hennessy needs to just get a grip of this game, because for my money the Zebras are lying all over the ball, and that's going to cause a little bit of friction at breakdown time.
Well, it's starting to get a bit touchy.
Okay. Simon,
obviously very physical at the breakdown. We'll listen to what the referee's asking for.
For me, please, yeah? Thank you.
Well, there was that little bit of climbing.
Not now, please. Thank you.
McComish, first of all. Sean Doyle put his foot in there as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a penalty issued, and who knows if it's serious enough. According to the TMO, who's Simon McDowell, vastly experienced, there may be a card in the offing. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, was that rucking or was that stamping? Doyle actually didn't make contact, I don't think, although I think the intent was there.
Neil, Simon, have you been able to see it?
I can barely hear you, Simon. The wind's right in my ear. Say again.
Would you like a recommendation?
Yes, please.
It's a penalty against for white for stamp.
Okay.
Well, Ulster skipper Johan Muller is going to be penalised for stamping.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it just going to be a penalty, or is there a card? I don't think there's going to be a card, but there's definitely going to be a penalty.
The penalty is against white for unnecessary use of the boot. Okay. Straight on the ball. Straight to the ball. Yep.
Well, Johan Muller, I think, is telling the referee that there's a lot of bodies lying around illegally, and he wasn't very happy with it, but at the same time, you cannot take the law into your own hands.
Yeah, one play was moving forward, the motion looked backwards, but three players starting to do it. It's going to draw the attention of the referee, and a pressure relieving penalty for Zebre.
Well, they've were under a little bit of pressure, and Luciano Alquera, who went off the field to get a little bit of a stitch or two, I think, in a head wound, has put the Zebre well out of harm's way, and it's their line-out throw. Bortolami got the timing just right. Lewis Stevenson didn't. Good drive by Ulster. So, but Ulster just keeping their composure, chill on kicks, and that's gone straight into touch, and that's the first real error we've seen in terms of kicking from the Zebras. Robbie Dack claps his hands. Still time for Ulster to do something before the interval. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Well, Ulster's young fans, and there are plenty of them, I'm delighted to say, will be looking for a little bit of Ulster scoring before the interval. Annette, nicely done to Stevenson. McKinney. Payne gets right through. He's got Wallace with him. Payne goes all the way. What a score by Jared Payne! Oh! And a Rudolph the Red Rose reindeer impression by Jared Payne. It was nicely done initially from the possession, and Payne, though he had Paddy Wallace with him, he knew he was in the clear.
Yeah, plenty of prancing and dancing, and that was certainly the celebration, but this was built from the line-out. Excellent width from the 9-10 path, and a lot of movement in that centre channel. Wallace offering himself on the outside, that created the uncertainty in the defender's mind, and Jared Payne showing his excellent finishing ability, summing up the situation. Little dummy to Wallace, and then the pace to go over under the sticks.
Well, I'll tell you something, if this is a man who's been struggling with a niggling groin problem for a season or two, it doesn't show. Well, that's one of the best celebrations we've seen at Ravenhill for a long time. But more importantly, with 9 minutes remaining of this first half, The Pienaar conversion of the Payne try has put Ulster into the lead for the very first time. And they have loved this one.
And Zebre, we get another little look at the celebration. The crowd certainly responding, but Zebre have had to work very hard for their 6 points. Ulster execute perfectly off the set play, and it's worth 7 to them.
James McKinney catches and into a stiffish breeds, finds a pretty good touch. Now all Ulster really have to do, if nothing else, by the interval is just consolidate.
They'll be comfortable enough the way this game is sitting. Those points certainly help, but even at 6-0 down, no need to panic. They understand the conditions and what they're playing with, but they'll be very happy having sustained that pressure in the opposition 22 to get some points to show for it.
Good take by Bortolami. Ferranidi, the 23-year-old flanker, has got it in there. Little fist getting swung, just more petulance than anything. Ricky Lutton detaches. Well tucked in, they're looking for another penalty. Ferranini been squeezed toward the touchline. Released it to Chillon. Oh, back inside to Sarto, gets away from a couple of Ulster tackles. Michael Allen couldn't hold him down. Sarto was still going. He is a huge fellow. And the response from the Zebre is immediate. And is it going to be conclusive? Ferranini stopped just to the left of the Ulster post. In goes Chillon. Orkera. Little offload, Iannone. They're still going. Ulster's defence really being stretched. Not often you miss the first up tackles. Chillon looking for a runner, but leaves it to his big men up front to try to take it on. They're within touching distance. Referee has got the hand out, and he's playing advantage, so there is going to be a penalty after all. He's looking to see if the visitors can conjure up a retaliatory try. DePici, the replacement hooker. Good work by Lewis Stevenson. Gets that large paw of his in there. They have to release Chillon. And again, it's the tight forwards who make the ground. Chillon again. Orkera has to stretch. Still wriggling. Well, this is too close to call. One wonders, is the referee still playing advantage? He hasn't said advantage over, not to my hearing anyway. Big pick-up and drive by loosehead prop Cistolini. And he's decided that there was no advantage, and Ulster have conceded the penalty 5 metres from their own line. The response from the Zebre was immediate.
Yeah, fantastic individual effort, and then going through the phases, forcing Ulster into infringing, and Zebre now with a tough decision. They'll be aware they need more points than this. They opt for the line out, the scrum, or the 3 points on offer.
Marco Bortolami has not yet made his decision. The touch judges have not been instructed to go behind the post, and that's because he's decided to go for the line out. So the vastly experienced Bartolami has made the call. This was the moment when 1, 2, 3 Ulster tacklers failed to pull down Leonardo Sarto. DePici, the replacement, referee not happy.
Okay, we go again. No, we go again. No, you maintain the gap as well.
The initial gap of a metre between the respective lineouts wasn't there. There's got to be a gap of a metre between the two sets of forwards, and within each set of forwards there's got to be a metre between men.
Stay in the line.
And Ulster will be looking at their defensive options. Get someone in the air, compete, wait for them to come to ground and sack, set up a defensive position.
Now Bortolami took it in. Ulster have got to be careful here. Zebre driving for the line. They've been held up initially. Referee said that's okay. Ball is coming back and it's slow, and Ulster have taken it in. And what a good piece of defending from the line-out by the home side, and my word, they needed to.
Yeah, if Ulster can ensure that Zebre don't get any further points, they'll go into half-time clearly in the ascendancy, knowing what's coming with the wind at their back. Stay down, look for the sack. That created the buffer when they went again. Robbie Dyack infiltrates in there, gets his hands with the man on the ball, and eventually too many bodies start to pile up. Zebre unable to get the ball back to ground, and an excellent piece of defensive work from Ulster.
Well, of course, it's a very, very unfamiliar Ulster 15. Only one international player in the Ulster pack, and that's the skipper. Normally there's at least 6 or 7.
Okay.
And as was mentioned earlier, this is the...
No, listen, it's a slip. but it doesn't help if the shoulders
Ulster
go
side
below
has
the
got
hips.
the fewest number
Step
of
away.
internationals in the starting lineup of the season so far.
Yes.
Referee brings them in field a little bit. Ground is churning up slightly, but it's weathered pretty well. There have been a few club games played in this ground recently in the last couple of weeks.
Let's manage it.
Just under 4 minutes remaining to half-time. Ulster leading by 7 points to 6. Trail for half an hour, and then Jared Payne's wonderful try.
Number 1.
Penalty against
You must wait.
the Zebre. Loose head for just driving in far too early. So Dario Cistolini will not be the flavour of the month with the skipper Marco Bortolami. Ruan Pinar finds a fantastic touch, taken quickly though by Dion Berryman. Iannone running out of room. Ulster really could do with turning this one over. The referee has given a penalty. Holding on in the tackle. There was really very little that Tommaso Iannone could do about that. He was well marshalled and well taken down. It was Chillon that was made the ground. And Ulster have found a good touch, have they? Yes, they have. What a cracking kick that was.
Yeah, Pinar's getting the read of this match as well. Ulster's kick is starting to adjust to the conditions, seeing which way it's blowing and certainly maximising their returns out of this kick.
Out of hand, that is a simply sensational kick by the multi-talented Ruan Pinar, playing his 45th league game this evening. Now needs just 3 more points for 400 in the league. That's a good take at the line out as the rain starts to come down in torrents here at Ravenhill. Well, Ulster held out. Can the Zebre hold out? Here's Paddy Wallace. Stevenson in quickly. James McKinney. Payne just couldn't quite make it. Good covering by Quinton Keldenhays, who set it up nicely for the Zebre. Alberto Chillon.
Yeah, but it's a knock-on, no advantage.
Initial knock-on was by Ulster and by Jared Payne. Now Ulster have already shoved the visitors off the ball. It is coming down very, very heavily. When you look straight out from our commentary position up to the black sky, it looks as if there's no rain at all, but then once you get under the spotlight of the huge floodlights, you can see how heavy it is. Well, they're wet, but they must be reasonably happy, the Ulster supporters. Might well be the last set piece of this toing and froing first half. Chillon again. So already put it in crooked once. Down Ulster go on one knee. Referee will ask him to do it again. And Ulster got a bit of a shove on there, but alas, I think Callum Black just lost his footing, otherwise they were going forward.
Time off.
Niall Annette may well have hurt his back. Or is it Ricky Lutton? I think it's Niall Annette. Well, that's not so good for a hooker.
Skipper, I'll say
difficult
the same to
conditions underfoot. They've had a lot of trouble at scrum time for different reasons.
And you know you can feel when a scrum is starting to go down, and you can probably take remedial action there, but all of a sudden when there's a slip and you're jerked down, David Irwin is on straight away, and I'd be a little bit concerned for Niall Annette, and I hope I'm wrong. That's where it all collapsed, and that was rather messy and rather worrying for the young Ulster hooker. Well, delighted to say that he's sitting up. Now, Rob Herring is a more than adequate replacement, and if there's any problem at all, then they shouldn't think twice. Gareth Robinson is on there as well. Well, the safety of players obviously is of primary importance and paramount concern. A little ripple of applause, and I'm delighted to say that Niall Annette seems to be fine. I certainly hope he's fine, Ryan.
You know, you have to put your trust in the medical staff. They have to see through a player's bravado. No one wants to leave the pitch, but they take a big responsibility on their shoulders, and a duty of care for the player always paramount.
Bind, set, hold, yes, man.
So just about 40 seconds to go to half-time. Good squeeze by Ulster on the put-in. Mike McComish comes round. Was the offside? Referee seems to be happy enough. Ulster haven't managed to turn that over. Good clearing out by Dario Cistolini. Back to Chillon, who's looking for the safety of the touchline. No, he's looking for the safety of his forwards. Taken on by Filippo Ferranini. Use, says the referee. Well, I'm not sure what the Zebre think they're going to be gaining by this, because it's highly unlikely they'll go the length of the field and score before the interval. And they're leaving themselves a little bit open now. They've changed their mind, and Chillon was just playing down the clock, and he pops it into touch. And this is the man who made all the difference by a stunning try on the half hour, converted by Ruan Pienaar. Ulster went behind after 2 penalties and were not looking at all comfortable, perhaps not surprisingly given the number of changes and the number of first-team players not available.
Addressing those situations as we speak, and I think we'll see a different Ulster team in the second half for sure.
But Ulster do lead by 7 points to 6, Morris, and playing with a big wind at their tails here. It's all about playing territory.
They will play possession, they'll play position, they'll move, play the ball up towards the memorial end, and then from then on their technique will overcome this very dominant, or sort of very turret Zebre team.
Will they get the bonus point, do you know?
Yeah, I think they will, yeah.
Morris, do you think so?
I believe so, but they have to get their set piece right.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. As you can see, the crowd is very wrapped up out there, because it is a bitterly cold night here at Ravenhill. Sparking doing his best to warm them up, but they want those 15 guys in white shirts to give them something to cheer about. Let's go back for the second half and join Ryan and Jim.
Only a point between them, and it's James McKinney, who got 21 points last time he started for Ulster against Edinburgh. Hasn't been doing any of the kicking. And so the province of Ruan Pienaar, and Luciano O'Cara gets the ball away very nicely indeed. There's not much to him, but he is small but perfectly formed, as they say, and he's a very accomplished little footballer, and he's been around for a long time and has oodles of experience.
Yeah, very good trajectory. He'll have to change. He's now playing into the wind, adjust the tactics, and keeping a low profile on that kick to maximise the distance into the wind.
Referee just asking the Zebre forwards just to move out a little bit to leave that space. Plenty of targets there for Ulster. That wasn't so good. Lewis Stevenson couldn't get the hand to it. Throw wasn't altogether accurate from Niall Annette, and one wonders, has that little tweak in the lower back affected him? I hope not. So first bit of set-piece possession has been conceded by Ulster, which is not a good start to the second half. O'Cara into a little bit of space, and that's not a bad one. Ricky Andrews gathered it nicely, gets it away to Annette, who sells a dummy. Ulster up to halfway. Pienaar almost blocked by Ricky Lutton. That's a clever kick by Pienaar, and the bounce is wonderfully kind to him. Well, we're talking about Ulster losing to top-class prop forwards and Tom Court and John Afoa. Fortunately, Ulster have held on to one of the best scrum halves in the world, which is crucial, I think, going forward.
Yeah, he's very quickly become a crowd favourite, and he'll need to guide Ulster into the right parts on the pitch. They'll know with the wind at their back, it's not going to win it for them, but it'll certainly put them in the right positions on the pitch to be able to collect the points they require.
Ulster hoping to do a bit of line-out stealing. They didn't quite make it. Cleverly done by the Zebre. Marco Bortolami takes it in. Chillon going to kick down the line. Hasn't made an awful lot of ground, and it's going to be an Ulster line-out. Took Ulster the best part of half an hour before they crossed the opposition line. They won't want to leave it that long in this second half. I don't think any other side in the Northern Hemisphere has got a quartet of fixtures to rival what Ulster have got in terms of their magnitude. Leinster, followed by Munster, followed by Montpellier, and then the Leicester Tigers. Pienaar, McKinney, flat to Payne. Well read, though, by the opposition defence. Taken on by Annette. Realised there was nobody out to his right, so he checked. Pienaar. Dyack, who's having a great season. Pienaar again. McKinney. Wallace. Lovely little flat ball. Ricky Andrew did well. Wonderful little sleight of hand there by Paddy Wallace, who's right in the middle of all of that. Pienaar thought about the corner. Found Mike McComish. Good support by Callum Black. Here come Ulster again. Again Wallace gets it away, and there was a We have 4 Ulster players there, and it went right between all of them.
Watch, this looks as though the player's going, winds up for the big pass and then just leaves it into the space. Perfect timing on the pass, and bringing those skills and that experience to bear on this match in the midfield.
So it needs just 11 games to become the first Ulster player to reach the 200 cap mark. Paddy Wallace, good steal by Ulster, first of the evening. How significant is that going to be? Here's Sean Doyle, who's been quiet. Pienaar. Diak, who's been far from quiet. Good clearing out by Ulster. Pienaar again, this is a bit more like it. Paddy Wallace does really well. And again, that final pass is not really being held. The Zebre defence has come across. There's an Ulster player down injured, and a funny feeling it's Robbie Diak, and that's not so good. Well taken in by Craig Gilroy. Has a little go himself.
Away, Black!
That's the 10-metre line. Callum Black again in quickly. Ricky Lutton acts as scrum half. Muller. Payne. Not much to him, but he's made of whipcord, solid. Lewis Stevenson. Good work by the big fella. Pienaar. Ulster protesting that there might have been an offside, but it was just good timing by Ruan Pienaar's opposite number. And Robbie Diak is still down, and it may well be a shoulder. And Roger Wilson's been in the wars, and Nick Williams has been in the wars, and Ian Henderson likewise, and Chris Henry. And when you suddenly think you've got almost an embarrassment of riches in the back row, and then something like this happens. Let's see what happens. Down he went, and he seemed to roll over, and I think he just maybe twisted something. He's sitting up at the moment. It might just have been his shoulder. He's puffing. Okay. I don't think he's... Well, I'm not going to say anything because my medical background is zero.
Yeah, looked to have just jarred that shoulder as his arm came to ground with the weight of the tackle player on top of him, and Ulster's resources beginning to thin in that back row area. Plenty of willing foot soldiers, happy to get their opportunity, but it's experience that Ulster require on the pitch at this stage.
He's just come down on his shoulder. That was the tackle was put in by Orkera, and then there was a covering tackle as well by one of the Italian back row forwards. I think it was the flanker Filippo Ferranini, and Robbie Diak is fine. I'm delighted to report. Well, what a great grafter he is.
Marcus here.
Signed on for another 3 years, which means he'll be at Ravenhill for a total of 9 years. Came as a special project, now qualified to play for Ireland. 5 minutes gone in the second half. No bothering of the scoreboard so far.
Bind! Set! Right!
Chilon. He rolls that in, and there it stays. Better squeeze by the Zebre. Penalty against Ulster.
Number 1 bind.
Callum Black's binding this time, so putting the hand on the ground now is binding. That's the second penalty Black has conceded, which I think is more than he's done in the past 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, looking slightly bemused by that decision, but those troubles at scrum time continue. Number of penalties, footing's not great. Few individual errors early in this second half, and that stop-start nature of the game continuing.
Well, no Tom Court, no Afoa, no Declan Fitzpatrick. Paddy McAllister injured. Adam Macklin on the bench for the first time in about 10 months. Jan Orkera having a word with his outside backs. They have shortened the line out. They've taken a couple of players out. 2 flank forwards are out of it, and they've lost it. Taken well by Ulster. Now to Ricky Lutton. O'Carra getting in the middle of all that, which is not like him at all, but not rolling away, the little fella. Maybe he was warm and comfy in there.
Yeah, difficult. You'd imagine if Ricky Lutton had taken that ball on and was lying on top of him, it may have been difficult for him to move, but it's quick ball that Ulster need. It's quick ball they've been denied, as we see another huge kick, perfectly judged in the conditions going in from that man Ruan Pienaar to establish field position for Ulster.
Well, he really is a master of craftsman. Everything he does is passing and his tactical kicking, his appreciation of the game, and his ability to take the pressure off inexperienced half-back partners. Ulster on the opposition 22. Quicker ball from Dyack. Here's McKinney. Bit telegraphed, but Michael Allen's got across the 22. McComish in there. Referee's going to give the penalty, and this is very kickable. Pienaar fainted just to do a quick tap, and this should be 3 points. And the referee's going to have a little word with somebody.
Injury, yes. With
Roberto
the tempo,
Quartalori.
please, if you're happy, more quickly, please. Thank you.
Well, the tempo is increasing from Ulster, and the referee is saying to Roberto Bortolami that your men have to get away, or Mario Bortolami, I should say, your men have to get away a lot more quickly than they are doing at the moment. And he probably should have done that from about the 10th minute of the first half.
Time on.
Yeah, it's that quick ball that Ulster thrive on. They haven't been able to play with any real width in this game because of the conditions. They have to tighten their spaces because passing becomes difficult, but it really is generating quality of possession at the breakdown. Ulster on the front foot, moving onto the ball are a very difficult proposition. Zebre, in concert with the conditions, have managed to slow Ulster down.
When you're running a block?
Pienaar with a conversion in the first half.
You look for the clear and obvious.
Gives that a nice little clip, and Ulster into double figures. 8 minutes played in the second half, and Ulster go out to 10 points to 6.
A difficult match, this one, for Ulster, sandwiched in between their Heineken Cup matches and the festive season where the local derbies come on. Very easy to be a banana skin, but Ulster have ensured with the young players that the enthusiasm is there, and they'll just be happy with an efficient performance that gets them the points in the bank.
Yeah, forget the bonus point. I think tonight has to be the mantra, but you never know. Ulster leading 10 points to 6. O'Carra. Ball sits up nicely. Well, Dyack has been outstanding, hasn't he? Great take by the injured number 8. Pienaar has a little glance to see what's available space-wise. And he's put that up into the stratosphere somewhere. Well covered, though, by Palazzani. McKinney has Ricky Andrew outside him. Michael Allen is rushing to get back. That's not a bad kick at all by James McKinney. Well, he threaded that through the gap very, very competently indeed, didn't he?
Yeah, small area of space that he identified once he got that ball in his hand. Quick look up, where's the space? Sees it and executes perfectly that space, gets it in behind it. No need for Ulster to be playing any rugby in their defensive two-thirds. They want to be kicking for field position, putting pressure on Zebre's set piece, looking for opportunities to convert that pressure into points, either through penalties, most likely, or the opportunity that presents itself through the try.
Well, again, Ulster very nearly stole it. It's been knocked back by an Ulster hand, though, and it's going to be another line out for the Zebre. A lot of great work being done by Johan Muller, whose anticipatory skills at the line out are quite fantastic. Likewise, Lewis Stevenson.
Yeah, oodles of experience there. They've been through opposition line-out stuff probably through the week, you'd imagine, but it's their reading of the body language of the Zebre players.
That wasn't straight, and it's going to be an Ulster scrum.
Court here is not straight. Option right. Option.
Will they go for the scrum? I'm pretty sure they will.
Thanks, bud.
It's only when your scrum's in serious trouble that you take the option of the line out, and there's no serious trouble. It's creaked a wee bit, but no serious trouble.
And with these sort of conditions, although Ulster's line-out has been particularly good, it's always a better percentage option to go for the scrum. Unlikely that they'll be able to drive it over from that distance as they look to set up a strike move behind the scrum.
Yeah, Ricky Andrews come in just behind Jared Payne at outside centre, so the whole Ulster back division poised to attack. That's a good squeeze there by the Zebre. Ulster wheeled round. Was that deliberate? No, back on the Ulster side. McKinney has to stretch again. Jared Payne, no way through this time for him. Nicely presented by the New Zealander. Here's Dyack. Zebre only committing a couple of men to the breakdown. Callum Black tries to squeeze underneath the body of Quartalori. Pienaar, bit of readjustment. Ricky Andrew inside to Craig Gilroy. Looked a tad forward, but the referee is happy enough. Oh, cleverly done. Good work by the two former Methodist College teammates, Mike Allen and Niall Annette. Ricky Lutton. Callum Black. Well, you've got to get out of the way, Mr. Zebre, and he does. Here's a net as well. He's put himself about around the park this evening. Number 1. Oh, that's a penalty against Ulster, not releasing in the tackle. Ulster complaining, I think, that the Zebre loose head, Dario Cistolini, was off his feet, not taking his weight on his legs. How do you see that one, Mr. Seam?
Certainly, at the end of that movement, there was no way the player was on their feet, but he may feel he'd been there long enough, claiming for that penalty that was duly awarded.
Number 1. Uno. Cambiare.
Well, that's had a pretty busy evening. His first start of this season. Replacement is on for the Zebre, and it's the pretty impressive Mattias Orchero, capped 22 times for Italy, who's on for the loose head Dario Cistolini. And not a bad man to have, and 1 or 2 other replacements, I think, coming on for the men in black and white. Orchero gets it away.
1, 2, 4.
Can't quite see as anybody else coming on. They're taking this one pretty quickly. Shorten line out. Oh, Muller. Magnificent Muller. Pienaar to Lutton. He's tackled by Geldenhuys. He has to get it back, and he does get it back. Pienaar as well. I've been impressed by the way the Zebre have shut Ulster down pretty quickly at just about every turn. Pienaar, James McKinney, Paddy Wallace into Jared Payne. Slips away from the first tackler, taken across the 10-metre line by Ulster. Pienaar, McKinney. Maybe just as he put a wee bit too much in that. All the way back goes Palisani, and that's going to be a 22.
Still where Ulster want to be. Difficult in the 22 to get any real distance. They're focusing on playing within the Zebre territory, and we see another evidence of Lewis Stevenson on this occasion getting up, applying pressure to that Zebre set piece when they're in their own territory.
It was indeed Lewis Stevenson. This is Orchero to drop out. Gilroy hasn't had much of a chance to show those great paces of his. Here's Dyack. Thought about the pass, decided to go route 1. Pienaar. Not much room in the narrow side. This is Stevenson. Opposite number Geldenhuys has got him, but Stevenson's made great ground. Geldenhuys has got to get the hands away. McComish took a big hit, but got it away nicely. McKinney, now to Paddy Wallace. Knocked on by Ulster, by Craig Gilroy, and it's going to be a scrum to the Zebre.
Some errors again from Ulster. That's really not allowing them to get that momentum. The passing so difficult in these conditions, trying to get it in front of the man. Paddy Wallace tries to zip that one, but the wind just draws it forward and makes it very difficult for Gilroy to get his hands on it. Lewis Stevenson doing the hard yards up front. Robbie Dyack's carried a lot of ball. Huge work rate's been required by this Ulster team as they go through the phases.
Well, the Zebre skipper has gone off. Marco Bortolami has gone off. And the man from East London, Michael van Vuren, the South African, comes on for his 18th league appearance.
Bind! Set!
And it goes again, and it stays there. Now they've got a wee bit of a shunt on. Oh, well tackled, the ball was out, and that's good work by Ulster at the breakdown, but Zebre have just about managed to recover it, but they're on the back foot. Ferranini has been absolutely ambushed, but they still managed to keep possession, and that's crucial. Geldenhuys. Depici, the replacement hooker, tackled by Ruan Pienaar. Chilon, this is Aguero, the replacement prop. Chilon again, Orchero. Thought he saw a wee gap. Tackled by Callum Black.
Push back here, good.
Chilon again. Number 8, Nicola Katina. Chilon looking no further than the blind side. He's got Ayanoni behind him, and also give away the penalty. Referee was saying get the hands out.
Hands out right, and you maintain them.
And they didn't get the hands out.
It may be difficult to hear down there on the ground, but certainly the referee instructing the player to release the ball and losing his patience and finally giving the penalty.
I'm just looking across to the other side of the park, and I think Ulster are going to bring on Tom Court and Rob Herring.
1 and 2, please.
Because they need a little bit of set-piece domination.
1 and 2,
16 and 17 go. Or come on, I should say, and numbers 1 and 2 go off.
I asked for hands away.
Well, this is the man who's going to be missed at Ravenhill. It's been such a big part of his life, living in Belfast for the last more than half dozen years, 7 years. Both children born here.
He came with very little experience in rugby, but from the minute he arrived and the players saw the sort of weights he was lifting and throwing about in the gym, they knew that he was going to make a meaningful contribution to the province, and he's certainly done that at both club and national level.
30 Irish caps, member of the Grand Slam winning squad. Oh, Stevenson very nearly got it. Court making a pest of himself, has got right through, but again, Zebre just getting that little bit extra. Herring straight in with a good tackle. Chillon. Cortaroli tries to take it forward.
Release right.
Court tackles again. Geldon Hayes drops it. Here goes McComish. Pienaar ups the kick. Where's that going to go? It's going to go into touch. Would you expect any less of Ruben Pienaar, to be honest?
A masterclass in tactical kicking in difficult conditions, and the man can do no wrong at Ravenhill. Sizes up the opportunity, and McComish very quickly gets it into the decision maker's hand and then threads it through the eye of a needle, and it was only ever going to bounce one way.
Well, from Ruben Pienaar's Ulster debut 3 years ago, when he scored all the points in the man of the match winning performance against Glasgow here, he has been a real crowd favourite. Ulster very nearly got another one. Knocked back by Ulster, and again it's knocked into touch, and again it's going to be a throw for the Zebre. The dominion of a man from Hamilton, New Zealand, Dion Berryman, not happy altogether about something. Tommaso De Pici, member of the Italian World Cup squad from a couple of seasons ago. Again, Ulster very close to winning it, and De Pici did splendidly, came right in, and great work by Tom Court, who very nearly ripped the ball away. Well, Ulster battling, and then one at Pienaar gets it to Ricky Lutton, who gets absolutely walloped, but he set it up. He's done well, the prop. McComish made a decent bit of ground. It's all about quick ball. Now they have it. McKinney, Paddy Wallace, lovely pass. Nice dummy by Craig Gilroy. Still there for Ulster. Michael Allen. Ulster getting ever closer. 6 or 7 metres to go, and they're making decent inroads now into Zebre territory. And Zebre get the put into the scrum. You may well have heard Neil Hennessy call maul, which means it was off the ground and Ulster were prevented from playing it. But that's good approach work by Ulster.
Yeah, the points may not be coming on the scoreboard, but they're still in the right place on the pitch. Frustratingly close once again. Zebre defence has been excellent all night, bar that one incident where they were sliced apart by Jared Payne, but they're certainly not giving up on this game as we approach the 60-minute mark.
Well, the first scrum for Ulster with Messrs Herring and Cork in. Let's see if that does make a difference. Coming up the end of the third quarter, Ulster where they want to be, but just by the proverbial whisker. 10-6 to the home side.
Okay, straight please. Square, be straight. Be straight. Don't go down unless you're all happy to go down.
Well, that's a bit
just
of
get on.
Christmas singing for you. Hadn't seen those chaps all evening. Well done.
Crouch.
Wonder how long it took him to learn stand up for the Ulstermen.
Bind. Set. Hold. Yes, no.
In it goes. Court comes popping up out of the scrum, and also give away the penalty at the first scrum.
Straight up.
So the difference that Court and Herring made was non-existent.
It looked like one of those two were trying to hook that ball as it sat tantalising in the middle of that tunnel of the scrum, and in doing so probably forced to stand up to effect that attempt to bring it back.
O'Cara finds his touch, and it's going to be a throw to the Zebre. We are now into the last quarter of this game. And all it takes is a breakaway. That's one area where Ulster have been outstanding. That line out, Ricky Lupton.
No!
Bit of a sidestep by the prop, taken down by his opposite number. Herring, who's had a very good season. Pienaar, McKinney, Paddy Wallace hurtles through what was almost a gap, and he's made it available. Well, I don't know whether it's the win. Referee saying that Ulster did knock it forward. There's no advantage to Zebre, who've got the ball. Chillon to his number 8, Nicola Katina. Chillon again looking for a runner. Doesn't get one. DePici sweeps it away. Iannone out to the enormous Sarto. Tries to get outside McKinney and does get outside McKinney. Completely skims the Ulster outside half. That's a poor tackle by Ulster. And Sarto's made an awful lot of ground. And is there a sting in this Zebre tail? Well, Sarto has done magnificently as he did in the first half. Here they come again. That seemed to be knocked backward. Referee is just waiting for confirmation from his touch judge, who says play on. Chillon. Orkera, no way through for him. First time in this second half that the visitors have been anywhere near Ulster's try line. Can they make it pay? Not on this occasion, because they've been penalised, and Ulster will be happy about that. I think, you know, if it stays at 10-6, Ulster will not just be happy, but very relieved, Ryan.
Yeah, and you'd love to see the statistics on defenders beaten for Sarto. I think he's probably on his own beaten more defenders than the rest of his team. An outstanding individual effort on 2 occasions, but again, it's Ulster with the luxury of that wind at their back, can clear their own half back into opposition territory. They want to start seeing something for all this territory. They're in the right parts of the pitch, but no points to show for it.
Well, here he goes. He had the pace to get round James McKinney. He outpaced Rob Herring. The strength took him past Jared Payne. Wind is very, very strong. A replacement in the back row for the visitors. More on that in a moment. As the open side flanker has gone off, Ferranini's gone. Caffini has come on. McKinney. Payne had to stretch. Did well to get across the 10-metre line. Wallace is out wide. Here goes Robbie Dyack. Thought about trying to get away, sensibly held on. Good work by Pienaar. Ooh, close to an interception by Sarto. And if he'd held that, that might have been good night Vienna.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you're exposed to when there's a 4-point margin. Anything like that could happen. An intercept, length of the field, and all of a sudden you're up against it. Also, certainly feel a bit more relieved if they can get a 7-point margin in front of them.
Emiliano Caffini is the man who's come on. Also look as if they're going to make another replacement. Somebody warming up on the far side. I think it might be David McElwain who's coming on.
12.
If that's the case, you might see Jared Payne dropping back to fullback as Paddy Wallace is going off. This could be interesting. What happens here?
Looks like Michael Allen coming into the 13 channel, perhaps.
Yeah, David McElwain is going to play on the left wing. Michael Allen is coming into the 13 channel where he played at school. Well, Paddy Wallace will be pretty happy with his return to Ulster colours after a 9-month layoff, a nasty injury, and then a second operation in the summer just to get everything right. But very much back in contention. Well, great squeeze at the scrum by Zebre. My goodness, that Ulster scrum was absolutely demolished. Well, they managed to get it back. No, they haven't. Yes, they have. It is pantomime season, remember. Here's Sean Doyle. Pienaar hasn't had the best of protection from his forwards. Lewis Stevenson does well. He's had a good game. Off for 3 weeks with a nasty knee injury. McElwain straight into it. Took the pass from Herring. Here's Ruan Pienaar. Ricky Lupton does well. Pienaar looking to the narrow side. Tom Court little bit of a check, a good acceleration. Pienaar waits, and again he's half blocked. It's not coming back cleanly on the Ulster side. There's not a lot of really genuine protection for the football and the man receiving it. And again, it's worked out for Ulster just about. It's still there for them. Pienaar to Dayak. Straightforward, no nonsense stuff. McElwain into help now. Pienaar. Michael Allen. Pienaar again. Muller. McKinney. This is looking more promising. Payne. Good work by Doyle. A lot of pace from the flanker. Just lost it at the crucial time and hacked away. Referee has called advantage over from the knock forward by Doyle. Back goes Gilroy. Well, that's not the greatest kick in the world. That's straight to the opposition. Roberto Quartalori. Chillon. Good tackle by Herring.
Hands out.
Still there for Zebre. Remember, a try, converted or not, would put them back into the lead. Ulster player in the way, and the referee spotted that. I don't know that he was. Referee reckons he probably wasn't making enough effort to get out of it. It might have been Michael Allen.
You've got to make the effort to go.
Well, he said to Michael Allen, "You put yourself in there. You've got to make the effort to go." We had still about 14 or 13 minutes remaining, Ryan. This game still is not done and dusted from an Ulster perspective.
Ulster certainly would have liked in that second half with the wind at their backs to have extended that margin out to offer them a degree of comfort at the mercy now of that 5 or 7 pointer that could see Zebre go away with an unlikely away win.
He's up.
Michael Heaney is coming on, and I'm wondering, are they going to take James McKinney off? I think James McKinney is going off. So it'll be, I'm pretty sure, Ruan Pienaar going to the outside half position. That's an interesting switch. What do you read into that, or do you read anything into it?
Well, Pienaar comfortable at 9 or 10, probably looking for his experience now in that 10 slot to guide this game home. Frustratingly for Ulster, they haven't been able to convert that pressure inside opposition 22 into points.
Taken in by Zebre. Round the side they go. The enormous Van Vuren. Just hustled into touch by Robbie Dayak. And Tom Court's penalised for coming in at the side. Now, will they look to go for the post? It's a difficult one. I don't think they will go for the post. I think they're going to go down the line. Well, that was a good piece of work by Robbie Dayak just before Ulster conceded that penalty. And there have been too many penalties, I'm pretty sure, for Mark Anscombe's liking.
Yeah, penalties, individual errors, difficulties at scrum time. A long list, but that'll be forgotten if they can get this crucial victory in this difficult match sandwich between important fixtures either side, and it's all about just getting that 4 points now.
Well, not for the first time has Lewis Stevenson done a wonderful job of smash and grab. Michael Heaney gets it away well. He's brought it in field. Berryman gathers, runs out of room, runs into the Ulster defence, and this time it's an Ulster penalty and a chance for Pienaar to put the ball into the opposition corner, and maybe with 11 minutes to go to close this game out.
Looking for a penalty. Zebre have been quite disciplined within their own 22, haven't given any easy kickable penalties. Ulster once again will find themselves with some comfort being in the Zebre half, but I'd love to get at least another 3 and get beyond that striking area for Zebre, where they could pick up a 5 or 7 pointer.
Berryman is leaving the field. And wearing 23 back on again. He was a temporary replacement in the first half. Vemeli Ratavu. Great take by Ulster, but it wasn't straight from Rob Herring.
Scrum or line out?
Dear oh dear, those are the things at which our mate coaches pull out whatever hair they've got left.
Same as us.
Yeah, difficult conditions to be going to the back. Ulster have managed to successfully negotiate the conditions at line-out time, but looking to go further towards the back, and the wind just getting a hold of that one.
Just over 10 minutes remaining. Will those Ulster hands be waving?
Set. Hold. Yes, 9.
Chillon pops it in. Well, it's been a dominant Zebre scrum all evening. Ulster have not functioned in that area at all.
Inside.
Good work forcing them back. Very nearly a knock forward, but a readjustment on the part of Van Buren. And it's been sealed
20.
off and killed off by
Straight
Zebre.
off your feet, 20.
Caffini, the replacement, went straight off his feet, and straight away Ruan Pinar has indicated that he wants to go for posts, because this would mean that if he gets this one, it will leave the Zebre needing a converted try just to tie the game.
Ulster have been playing for field position in this second half and waiting for these opportunities, but it was very disciplined by Zebre up to this point not to have conceded the kickable penalties, but eventually the indiscipline has come and Ruan Pinar's faced with this opportunity to extend the lead to 7.
Well, this is a must-get kick. Clock is ticking away, 9 minutes remaining. Referee just checking that both of the assistants are behind the post.
Be quick.
Well, he's told Pinar to be quick. The ball has fallen over, but he's only got a minute, and he may have to get Robbie Dyack to hold it, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Just put a little finger on it just to make sure it's steady, and make sure he's not obstructing the kicker. All very unsettling. But can Pinar keep his cool on this cold night? Well, there you have the answer. Well struck by Pinar. Ulster now a converted try in the lead with about 8 minutes remaining. Ulster 13 and a very, very impressive Zebre 6.
And from the kickoff, Ulster will be looking for a basic receipt of that kickoff. Ball to the back, either box kick from Heaney or get it into the 10 channel for Pinar to relieve the pressure.
Well, a great restart kick knocked backward. Here comes Heaney. That's a sensible kick by Heaney now. He's going to pray that there's a wee bit of backspin on that one. And there is, you know. Palazzani, the try scorer of 3 weeks ago, finds his touch, but it's going to be an Ulster line-out. Very clever kick by Michael Heaney.
Yeah, knew that the right thing to do is to hoof that down the other side. Let Zebre try and work their way out of it. Kicking their way out of it's no longer an option if you can get your defensive chase there, and we see being led by Gilroy and a number of other players up there with him. Ulster now, it's about possession as we enter the final 8 minutes.
Well, they've lost the line-out. They'll have to run this, Zebre, and they do. And there's the danger man, Sarto. Wrapped up by David McElwain. Sarto has presented it nicely. O'Cara at scrum half. Aguera, the replacement, prop forward, the big bewhiskered fellow. Chillon. Well, there's a bit of an overlap here. If they decide to move this, and they've kept it in field. It's the man with no number in his back, Dries van Schalkwyk. Matuvu. And well tackled by Craig Gilroy, who really held on to the big Fijian. Referee said that went backward. Still about 6.5 minutes remaining.
Waiting. Good.
Depice into Doyle, who just about holds him up. Away they go, O'Cara. And only gets up to halfway, but no way through this Ulster defence. O'Cara. Depice, who's been very busy.
Away 6.
That's a boot. Well held by Ruan Pinar. Into a bit of space. Back on the Ulster side. Play on, says the referee. Not offside because an Ulster hand played it. Now here's a bit of a chance. Can they get it wide to the danger man? Well positioned by Ricky Andrew. Oh, charged down. Muller, Stevenson, cleverly done. Pinar. You could almost hear the sharp, or did hear the sharp intake of about 14,000 breaths here at Ravenhill. Pain covers.
9. Okay.
That's bouncing quite nicely. It's going to be a 22 unless he can get a foot in touch, and he can't. Well, he needs to hurry up if they're going to do something here, but of course he's nobody back to support him, so there's no point in rushing. 5 minutes remaining, 7 points between them. It certainly has been just about one of the least impressive Ulster performances of the season so far, but if it stays like that in terms of the scoreboard, when the final whistle goes, well, they'll reckon it a job well done under difficult circumstances.
Ulster taking a risk with selection, and not a huge amount of continuity there, but it's just that 4 points they're after now.
Keldon Hayes was the man who swept it away. Out to Sarto, who's knocked it forward. Now the ball was knocked forward into touch, and these days you've got the option of the line out or the scrum. Neil McComb is coming on. Conor Joyce, and the whiskered gentleman wearing number 18 is Adam Macklin, playing his first game since January of this year. He's been beleaguered with all sorts of injuries. Lewis Stevenson is going off. Neil McComb is on. Who'll relish this? It's been a very good performance by Lewis Stevenson. A number of very valuable line-out steals. Ricky Lutton goes off as well, so Macklin on to play his first game at tight head.
They're just about control for Ulster. They'll want to try and get their hands on that ball, ensure they go through the phases, recycle that ball. 4 minutes left on the clock. They won't want to go back into their own half.
Set, hold, yes, 9.
Not a bad scrum. McComish under a little bit of pressure to get it away, but he's done well. Gets a bit of support from Conor Joyce. Here comes Tom Court.
Back foot.
Taken on by Herring. Conor Joyce, captain the Ireland Junior World Cup winning team on a couple of occasions. And Ulster coming in, and it's Adam Macklin. First thing he does in his return to Ulster colours is give away a penalty. And Zebre still have got some hope there.
Okay.
At the moment, they've got a losing bonus point. Converted try would give them a share of the spoils. O'Cara gets it into touch. But is there time? Well, there's 3 minutes remaining.
There's still a long way to go for them. 14. They've got to try and make a clean break with time running out. Haven't 14. Really looked that threatening at any stage in this match, and also looking to make one final replacement as they look to close this match out.
Yeah, Peter Nelson coming on for Craig Gilroy, so Nelson's going to get 3 minutes. Back on the Zebre side. That's knocked forward. Referee playing advantage. Snapped up by Rob Herring. What a great piece of driving by the hooker. Well left by Muller. Tom Court, nice little sidestep. Heaney got it away well. Pienaar outside half. Taken by Nelson. Well set up by the redhead replacement. Pienaar. It's another redhead. Conor Joyce. Heaney, Pienaar. Trying to keep the lid on it. Back goes Rativeau. No, he's not the sort of guy you want to give a lot of room to, and they haven't given him any room. Great tackle by Adam Macklin. Chillon, O'Cara. He'll have an overlap if they can shift this to Pichie. Didn't look outside him. One of those cardinal sins that coaches always will take you to task over. Cortelori takes it forward. This is Van Schalvik, who scored 2 tries against Ulster in Italy when these sides met a couple of seasons ago. Ulster have won that. Clever kick by Heaney. That's another one. That's a nasty one. That could bounce anywhere. And it bounces into touch. But Michael Heaney has put in 2 very, very crafty little kicks just to keep the lid on things.
Yeah, good game appreciation. Getting the ball deep into Zebre territory. They're going to have to run it from there, and just seeing the space and perfect execution. Outstretched arms of Sato, not enough to get there as he starts to cramp up.
Yes, I think it's just cramp more than anything else. I don't think he's pulled anything. Yeah, it is cramp on a pretty heavy Ravenhill pitch, although it stood up wonderfully. So well done to all the staff here at headquarters. It's the final line out of the game. Can Ulster steal another one? No, they can't.
No problem.
They're going to try to run this. They have to run it. Chillon looking for men on his right. Matthias Aguero was there. Also keeping them bottled up into the last minute of this game. And Ulster will be mighty relieved, I have a feeling, to hear the final whistle.
Yeah, Ulster management took a calculated risk in resting and rotating so many of their frontline players. They've backed the youth element within Ulster to be able to get the job done for them tonight as they rest those players to come back in during that festive period for some crucial matches against teams that are in that top half of the table, and that calculated gamble looks to have paid dividends thus far.
Brendan Leonard has come on as a replacement for Sarto in the very last minute. Ulster lose their own lineout. Leonard has gone into scrum half. 10 seconds remaining. Once this goes dead, it's going to be game over, and Ulster will have won it. Zebre, I'm sure, won't be giving up. Chillon, who's battled away the base of the scrum. Well, he's decided to go for the losing bonus point. Mike McComish has given away a penalty, and there seems to be time for the penalty, or is there? No word from Simon McDowell, the TMO, to Neil Hennessy to tell him that's it over. Well, he's just said it is the last play.
No, last play.
So they'll have to tap and go. Well, they've already got the losing bonus point, but they may well be looking for another one if they can squeeze a draw out of this. To do that, they've got to score a converted try, and they're not going to do it from there. Conor Joyce was in quickly. Orkera has decided that discretion is the better part of valour, and he's popped it into touch. Well, a horrible, filthy night and a horrible, ugly game of rugby. But from an Ulster perspective, it was job done and relief all round.
Hold on, refs, look
they
good.
have 4 very, very tough games to come. In the Pro 12, they're away to Leinster on the 28th, then they're home to Munster on the 3rd of January to start off 2014 with a real challenge, and then back-to-back Heineken games, Montpellier at home, and then away to the Leicester Tigers. But at the moment, it's another Pro 12 win for Ulster. An experimental side, only 4 international as opposed to the average 9, 10 or 11, but they got it done in the end. But my word, they made the coaches and the coaching team sweat, never mind the geriatric commentators. Anyway, Ulster have got it done. 4 more league points. Final score, Ulster 13 and Zebre 6.
Well, it wasn't much of a spectacle, was it? But at least it is a win for these hardy Ulster fans to cheer. One flash of brilliance by Jared Payne helped Ulster to a 7-6 half-time lead. It was a night when not much clicked for the home side, but Ruan Pienaar showed composure, stayed calm, and kicked Ulster to victory. Not the expected bonus point win, but it's a win nevertheless. Andy Ward and Maurice Fields are with me. Marks out of 10 for that one, gentlemen.
Oh, do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Can we go as low as 3? It was very poor. I was very disappointed, to be honest. You know, it just didn't kick on at all.
It was a poor performance against a team that I think everybody's expecting a bonus point win. If you had said after the Heineken Cup games, we were looking at 4 bonus point score here this afternoon. But you have to give Zebre credit for the fact the way their determination in defence and the way that they guts things out. But from an Ulster performance, there's going to be a lot of very ugly watching on the game review.
Okay, well, let's hear from the man of the match, Robbie Diak.
Well, Robbie, a win, but not a classic. Yeah, listen, we always knew this can be tough here against Zebre. You know, they've really recruited well this season, and they've got some top class players, and we knew this would be tough, and it was tough. You know, the weather didn't help, but we weren't clinical like we wanted to be, and I think there's a couple of things we have to work on for next week.
A lot of changes coming into the game. Was it difficult with the combinations out there tonight?
No, I suppose a lot of these guys have got opportunities before, and I think we're just going to have to step up and take responsibility for that. You know, it's a lot of opportunities for these guys, and a few of them took them. You know, and I think hopefully a couple of them get the opportunity next week as well.
Set piece has been strong this year. Was that a problem area tonight?
As I said, you know, I don't think the weather really helped. The wind was strong. We couldn't get ball at the back of the line-out, and I think Lewis Stevenson competed particularly well for our line-outs, you know. So, but you know, we do work hard on that, and we pride ourselves on that.
Leinster next doesn't get any bigger, does it?
Yeah, you said, you know, it doesn't get any bigger than that, and we're looking forward to it, especially down in Dublin there. So we can't wait for that.
Paddy Wallace has just jumped in. Paddy, after 9 months out, good to be back.
Oh, it's great to be back. It's always nice to play at Ravenhill, and as you say, it's been a long time, so yeah, I really savoured that regardless of the conditions there tonight.
Yeah, not really a great night for an inside centre.
No, it was sort of bit of hard work out there, make your tackles, and that, unfortunately we made a lot of mistakes and we couldn't capitalise on the territory we had, certainly in the first half and the second half. So not the best performance.
You're back to fitness at a good time. Derby's coming up and Heineken as well.
Okay, no, listen, I'm just, it's just nice to be back playing any sort of rugby after the sort of year I've had so far. So, small steps, one game at a time and all that, and all the cliches come out. But I'm just glad to be back.
Good to see you back, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
Paddy Wallace, one of the few Ulster players with a smile on his face tonight. The performance really matched the weather conditions, didn't it?
Very much so, and I think that was disappointing. There'd be a lot of people disappointed. Everybody's feeling a little bit sort of, all right, okay, can we do something else now? It was that really that bad, and which is, it's a credit for Ulster to get to where they have. We have this expectation of a performance now, and when we see a performance like that, we're all a little bit flat. So yeah,
a bit of soul searching, Morris. Yes, to be done there, as we can see. But a young side, and they got a victory.
Yes, they got the victory. They were given. There was a lot of boys and different units were given the opportunity to go out and perform, and that's why I said there's going to be a lot of harsh words being said. And you know what? They have to learn from performances like this. And if they learn and they start producing when they're given the next opportunity, all the better. But again, some units didn't function there this evening.
Why Robbie Diak, your man of the match tonight?
I just think he just looked the liveliest person on the park for probably both sides, to be honest. And he was we showed some illustrations there at half time how he was a little livelier looking. He was looking for the ball. He's around the corner. He's 5 steps ahead of everybody else, and I think those illustrations just there really prove to it. Here he goes again. Once again, he's 5 steps ahead. He's taking contact, and he's under a lot of pressure, and he's getting the ball back.
And again, he's asking questions in defence. He's taking 2-3 defenders out at a time. The problem what didn't happen in Ulster, we didn't recycle the ball quick enough. As we said, the combinations didn't work down the back row. Robbie himself individually played well, but as a unit, they weren't clearing the ball out quick enough, and we weren't getting quick ball that Ulster have depended upon this season when we started playing their best rugby.
Yeah, I mean, also, it really highlights the fact that everybody in the game of rugby has a job to do, and I think the back row thrive on the front 5 doing their jobs. And today that front 5 just didn't quite click, so hence the back row, the knock-on effect just propels itself through the team. And we got good classy centres out half. It just wasn't getting quality balls, so the knock-on effect right from the front was just not good enough.
You mentioned the classy centres. If you're just joining us this evening, we could probably show you the one main highlight of the match tonight, but it was absolutely brilliant. It was Jared Payne's try.